It's my absolute pleasure to be moderating this session today with Christopher Nkambwe and Andrea Houston. My name is Nicole Chambers, and I'd like to thank you for joining this Lunch and Learn hosted by the Institute for Change Leaders. Today we are joined, I've introduced you both, by Christopher and Andrea for a conversation about the lived experiences of LGBTQ African refugees and newcomers to Canada, and Christopher's organization, the African Center for Refugees. So thank you for being with us here once more. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge Christopher's local MPP, Mr. Peter Tabbins, for being here with us and for showing his support, albeit virtually. We really appreciate you attending, and I know it means a great deal to Christopher, so thank you. And without further delay, let me introduce you to both Christopher and Andrea. So Christopher Nkambwe is an LGBTQ plus activist and newcomer to Canada from Uganda. In Uganda, homosexuality is illegal, and in April 2019, she fled persecution for being a trans woman and for her work within her local LGBTQ community. Upon arriving in Canada after a short 4 months, she registered a charity and founded the African Center for Refugees for LGBTQ plus African newcomers here in Toronto. By November, she was the recipient of the Community One Grant Award for $10,000 in support of her work. She continues to do this important work and has helped over 300 other refugees who identify as LGBTQ+. I am so thrilled that she is with us today to share her story. We are also being joined by Andrea Houston, who has spent her career working as a journalist, an activist, and in local politics in support of the LGBTQ+ community, not just here in Toronto, but on a global level. Andrea has been a writer for the Toronto Star, the Peterborough Examiner, Extra, Canada's Gay and Lesbian News, and as managing editor of the Torontoist. Andrea was instrumental in bringing queer media studies to Ryerson University, where she developed and taught the first course in queer media in their School of Journalism. At Queen's Park, she served as executive assistant to MPP and the first LGBTQ critic, Cherie DeNovo, helping to craft and pass legislation to make the province a safer and more accepting place for LGBTQ+ youth. More recently at Rainbow Railroad, Andrea was part of the team helping queer and trans people facing persecution in more than 70 countries around the world escape to freedom. So thank you so much, both of you, for being here. I'm going to stop my screen share now and welcome Christopher to tell her story.
Thank you so much, Nicole. You're very welcome, and especially my people back home from Uganda. We have them on here. You're very, very welcome, and good to see you. It's been too long, but you're very, very welcome. My name is Christopher Nkambwe, and I'm the team leader of the African Center for Refugees in Ontario, Canada, and a trans woman activist from Uganda. And I am a women deliver young leader in the class of 2018. Being LGBTQ in Uganda comes with a lot of challenges, whereby we face homophobia attacks, home evictions, unemployment, family denials, homelessness. Those are the consequences that come to you as a sexual minority. And there is a lot of police arrests for the activism work that we are doing. And besides that, to save my life, I decided to come to Canada to attend the Women Deliver Conference as a choice that I had to make to save my life. And the choice that I made comes with a lot of also challenges, leaving back behind your families, your like I was an activist, my organization, the people that I was looking after, the people that were serving, the different organizations that I used to volunteer with, I left them behind to save my life. And the choice that I made is to come to Canada to save my life. And that choice has led to the formation of the African Center for Refugees in Ontario, Canada, which is a newly registered charity organization that now is supporting LGBTQ refugees and other people from the African continent to navigate through the Canadian system. As a newcomer in Canada, we face a lot of very many challenges. Like me in person, I come from a third world poorest country, and coming to Canada, which is a 5-star country, there is a very much difference in the ways that we are living. Like there is a challenge of using the subways, the technology about using the Presto cards, the new terms that we find in Canada, like you're using the TTC, the eastbound, the westbound, you never know which route you're taking. And this has caused a lot of trouble in the newcomer community in Uganda. The outcomes of this, of the choice that I made is that the organization has been able to support over 300 LGBTQ refugees in Canada. And it has pushed me to win the Steinert and Ferrero Award, which is under Community One Foundation, and it is one of the biggest and largest awards for LGBTQ people. And this award is given to people in the promotion of the understanding of the LGBTQ community in Ontario, Canada. Besides the award, I also won the Marie Lapouse Youth Leadership Award. And this was given to young leaders who are also doing a tremendous job in promoting the understanding of the LGBTQ community in Toronto, Canada. And further, more in advance to advance my advocacy work, these awards are pushing me to do more activism work. And we are now working on a very big project of welcoming LGBTQ activists from Africa to Canada. And we hope that we are organizing an LGBTQ human rights convention in Canada, which we intend to hold next year. And this is courtesy of these awards that I've won, and they are pushing us to do more advocacy. Why are we having this convention come next year? We are having it such that we can bring these people to share their experiences, how these people are working under the harsh criminal laws in Africa, which were brought about by the British people. And thank you so much. That is a little bit of my story. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Christopher. We're just going to be showing about 3 minutes of a short clip where Christopher was featured by Breakfast Television. I will share my screen once more to see this video, and we'll be joined after the video with Andrea's questions for Christopher. Oh, my apologies, one moment.
Back just before 7:30 on a Wednesday morning, 2020, a year where a lot of people went through adversity, a lot of challenges. You have a great story about somebody making a difference that went through adversity.
It's pretty incredible. Her name is Christopher, and it's a story of resilience. You know, a lot of us are going through some tougher times right now, and here's someone who is going through a fight for their life and what they've done to turn things around, not only for themselves, but for others. This is the story of Christopher.
I found myself an asexual minority as a trans woman. And back home, once you are a sexual minority, you are denied services or you are denied employment.
As a journalism graduate, Christopher Nkambwe dreamed of working in the field, telling stories. But as a transgender woman living in Uganda, she quickly realized that dream wasn't going to become reality. But Christopher knew her voice needed to be heard, and so did the voices of others.
I decided to join activism work where I could reach out to people of the same category like me.
Christopher founded and volunteered at a number of LGBTQIA2S+ organizations in Uganda, advocating for better health and economic services for the community. At the forefront of organizing underground Pride Uganda events and outreach programs, Christopher was arrested by local police for promoting homosexuality, an act against the law. Threatened with life imprisonment, she sought asylum in Canada.
I left my family behind. I left my friends. I left my organization. I had nothing to do but to save a life.
Landing at Pearson Airport in June 2019 with nothing, Christopher was driven to a downtown Toronto intake center, but was forced to sleep outside with shelters at capacity. Her only contact from home, her boyfriend, who gave her the strength to fight.
What you have to do is to persevere, go through whatever it comes. If it means sleeping on streets, please do. But you have to save your life.
But it wasn't just her life she was set to save. After months of navigating the immigration process and acquiring refugee protection, Christopher once again thought of others, establishing the African Centre for Refugees in Ontario, Canada, helping over 300 people with similar experiences to hers find work, housing, and a sense of community, all funded using her own salary as a part-time cleaner. Until this. In November, Christopher honored with Community One Foundation's Steinert and Ferrero Award, including $10,000, Canada's largest single cash award recognizing outstanding LGBTQIA2S+ leadership and unsung heroes, an especially trying time during the pandemic when all resources are strained.
What does it mean to be able to help other people for you personally? What does it do for you? I can see a smile on your face when I ask you this question.
Right now, I'm feeling I'm doing what exactly is meant for me. And I have passion, I have energy, I have the momentum to reach out to other people.
Really?
You can understand why I shared that video. So once again, Christopher, congratulations. And we look forward to listening to the next half hour while you speak with Andrea about your experiences. So thank you.
Wow. I mean, that video, I've seen it a few times now, and it's so moving and so powerful, and, just a real, profile of a hero, really. I think that's what it says to me. Well, let's get started, Christopher. Let's first take me back to what life was like in Uganda. What is life for an LGBTQ individual like yourself? What is life like in Uganda? Why is Uganda considered one of the worst places in the world to be LGBTQ? Talk to me about what that experience is like.
Uganda is considered the worst place to be gay because of the British colonial laws that were imposed in the African societies or the African countries. And these laws have gotten stuck in the minds of people, and these laws have come with a lot of implications. The laws have done more harm than good to the LGBTQ community in Uganda, whereby we face a lot of challenges like homophobia attacks, constant police raids. We have no proper working environment as LGBTQ people to serve our community. We have home evictions. People are out there, and it is 26% of LGBTQ people kicked out of their homes because of their sexual orientation. So in 2009, some lawmakers in Uganda were pushing for the anti-homosexuality bill that was to kill LGBTQ people, and this bill came with a lot of implications, not only to LGBTQ people, but also with the partners and allies who were able to serve us in the community, and we resorted to working underground. Yeah, basically that is it.
For anyone watching who is unfamiliar with the recent history in Uganda, just to back it up, there's a number of American, British, and Canadian evangelical preachers and missionaries who have been flooding into Uganda and other countries in Africa, but Uganda has really been a target for a number of people. As Christopher was just talking about, there was a bill that was proposed a few years ago called the Kill the Gays Bill, proposed by an individual named Scott Lively. And I think it's really important to name these people, because what he did was he really started a reign of terror. And I don't think you can really describe it any other way, is what, that really changed for a lot of people. It really set the movement back a generation, arguably. But thankfully, because of people like Christopher and others who have raised the alarm and sounded the alarm and ultimately are saving lives. And so that legacy of colonialism, which still stands today, that the criminalization still stands, even though that particular Kill the Gays bill did not pass, you can still face life in prison for just being who you are, just existing as a queer or trans person. Talk for me about what life was like under criminalization. What did that mean on a day-to-day basis, on a day-to-day reality for you?
Life under criminalization of a sexual minority like me is, when I was still in Uganda, I didn't come out as I am here, because when you come out, you are criminalized, you are attacked, you are not allowed to serve your community, yet we also have needs as individuals. Our human rights are violated. We are seen like curses, we are seen like people who cannot even sit near the church or near any religious movement people, So life under criminalization has also led the poor working conditions for LGBTQ people. Like recently, in 2 weeks back, our organization was raided by police thinking that we are promoting homosexuality in Uganda and we are recruiting people, yet we are only doing service delivery for people who can't afford the government health facilities back home in Uganda. But for them, they think that, we don't deserve to live, we deserve to die, we deserve to, they think that, we must not be in existence, but they fail to understand that we are born this way, and we did not come to Western world to be contaminated with being a sexual minority. We are just born this way. And personally, I got this feeling when I was still young. I had never traveled to any Western country, but people think that when you stand near a white man, you get those feelings of getting attracted to the same-sex person, same-sex people, Yeah.
And and media is complicit in this persecution. Media works with the government, works with the churches to out people to their families, even publishing, as was reported a number of times, even publishing their home address, sort of sending people to go and attack them, which it adds to that culture of fear that you were talking about. But you did what most people can't do or won't do or are too scared to do, in that you defied this. You defied this criminalization, and your work in activism, because of that, frequently put you in danger of arrest and persecution, as you were just discussing. Yeah. Tell me about the challenges and the risks of doing this work. You've talked about your offices being raided. Tell me more about what that was like and what other people's experience is. Not everybody is as brave as you are.
Other people's experience is that they are not at ease with working with under the laws of the government that do not favor them. They are always on security issues, to save their lives. Coming on board and serving the LGBTQ community under the harsh policy laws is also another tug of war. So these people are working, I should say, underground, and we reach out to the people. And these arrests they're doing cannot stop us from serving our community. If we stop giving out services for free, you find out people are lacking very many health facilities, and in Uganda, we are considered most at-risk populations, and we are so much into getting HIV. So if you stop delivering those free services to other people, the services they do offer are charged. But for us, we are doing it on a free basis. But the government does not allow us to do that, thinking that even if we are giving out service delivery in health or in any other category, they are thinking that we are promoting homosexuality,
which is the crime. That was the language that was in the bill, was the making it a crime to quote unquote promote homosexuality, which is so broad, and it's just this blanket statement that almost everything can fall under. Even providing healthcare could be seen or interpreted as promoting homosexuality. You were able to escape. And we're so happy that you did. You were able to escape by claiming refugee status when you attended a conference in Canada, which is so often how people escape these situations. It's an exit, but it's also it's inequitable, because not everybody can do this. Not everybody has access to conferences. Not everybody is on a speaking circuit. So maybe talk a bit about that, talk about that inequity, and then also talk about what it was like when you arrived in Canada, when you did claim refugee status and a new life began for you.
When I arrived in Canada on the 1st of July 2019, like I said, I come from a third world poor country, and arriving in a country like Canada with the different environment, with the different tall buildings, with the subways, I personally was not used to them, but I didn't find any help as an individual. So I had to push myself to find shelter. I didn't find anyone for support. These organizations are here, but we have no directorate for them to find out which organization does this service, which does offer free services to newcomers. But the inequity of coming to Canada, the implications are that you find that you become homeless. You don't have anyone to call, you don't have anything to start with. Like I said, I came alone, and I struggled alone for the first 4 months.
You slept on the streets.
On the streets, sleeping there, and finding shelter was very, very much difficult for me. And when I went to 109 Peter Street, I ended up sleeping at a doorway of the rhinos at the intake. That is where there was free space. All the shelters were at capacity, But if we had a directorate of organizations, somebody would call and say, "We have a newcomer here. You need he can come or she can come there for your services." But not at all. I had to persevere, call back home, call my boyfriend back home. Life is not easy. Life is not easy here. But he was like, persevere and do whatever you can to save your life. Don't come back.
Yeah. And it's not, as you said, it's not easy. It's not, nobody expected the refugee experience to be easy, but you shouldn't have to come to a new country and face prejudice, face racism, face discrimination and transphobia and homophobia. That should not be something that you would experience. But you did. Talk to me about that experience.
Yes. When I found a shelter to stay in, it is a small room with 5 people, and they were all white, and I was only the black person there. There was a lot of racism in these shelters, and these persons who are practicing racism on you are already armed. They are armed, they have weapons, they have knives, they have pistols, and you end up sleeping in an environment that is not favorable for you. You come here with your own problems, you know, you are going to be killed back home, and again, you are sleeping with people with guns, you know, and their mental health is not steady, you know. So I also faced microaggression racism, whereby those guys in the shelters were asking, why are you behaving like a woman? I thought that in Canada, people are well versed with the LGBTQ community, you know, but they are also still greener about it. And people ask, why are you Black? You are here in our shelter. You are consuming our services. These services are not made for you, you know? So the life in the different shelters around Canada and in Toronto is not so pleasing to the LGBTQ people or newcomers in Canada.
I think Canadians have it in our minds that, you know, this is a utopia for newcomers, for refugees who come here, that, you know, anything is better than where you come from, so it must be fine. And I think that, you know, Canadians really need to come to grips with the gaps that you're talking about, that we really need to focus on and find ways to make the system more welcoming, more equitable, and frankly, more just. You've mentioned one gap already. You talked about the registry, and I think that's a fantastic idea. Talk a bit more about that, and tell me about what other gaps in the system that you've noticed. If Justin Trudeau was one of our guests watching this right now, what would you say to him?
If Justin Trudeau was here right now, I would tell him that, you know what, we need a refugee front desk at all airports. And it is like 55% of the newcomers who come here do claim refugee at the airport. You know, you go through an immigration process, which takes like 3 hours. You are being interrogated by police. You know, we people fear police. You know, so you take long hours there. Then after the interrogation, you are told, find a place where to stay. You know, like I said, this is a first-class world, class country. Yeah. You have nowhere to go. So if we have a front desk for refugees, you know, they can direct you. We have such and such an organization here. It does that, reach out to them. But very many organizations are here in existence, and they have been funded by the government. They are multi-million funded organizations, but they are not in existence. People don't know what they do. People don't know what services do they give, you know. But I thank God that my organization has been here for less than 2 years, but we have been able to make it. People know our existence, and we are giving out our services for free. I'm using the funds, that the small money that I earn as a cleaner somewhere, the 15.25, to look to serve my community using the volunteers I am working with. And I'm so glad that people are believing in me, and we are working to look out for other people in the community to serve them at a zero cost. Very many organizations here are serving people after giving them some money. You know, they pay some money for support letters, for services to refer you to other organizations. But I'm doing this on a personal basis, and I'm doing it out of passion and love. Thank you.
I don't think people realize how difficult it is to start an organization. It's very difficult, even under the best circumstances. So you founded the African Centre of Refugees in Ontario. I want to underscore this, funded entirely by your part-time wages as a cleaner in Toronto. And you have and to date, you've helped 300 people. Those are incredible numbers. That is absolutely kind of blowing my mind, because that is not an easy task at the best of times. You know, why did you do this? Other than your passion and love, but to take on this when you're already a refugee in a new country, struggling to survive, struggling to keep your head above water, you know, why take this on now?
I decided to take on this because this organization that I founded is to welcome newcomers in Canada, give them a warm welcome, because I didn't want anyone, no one can deserve to sleep under, the rhinos. No one deserves to sleep on streets. So this organization is to welcome LGBTQ persons and also to enable them navigate the Canadian system. Also, the programs that the organization does, we have the Pulse Chat program that also helps in navigating the Canadian system. We bring different presenters on the platform, and they do teach our members about different issues on immigration, how to file for PR, mental health, you know, and these programs are being picked by these individuals, and they are getting something out of them. Thank you.
Such incredible leadership, like unbelievable. Talk to about your life now. You know, you've been in Canada for a while now. You've done enormous things, amazing things. And what is the evolution of the organization? What are your plans? What are your future plans? And how have you been making do under these COVID-19 restrictions? How has the pandemic impacted or changed your work?
Our plans are to have a very big organization in Canada to support LGBTQ refugees. And we have severely been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic era in a way that we are lacking a charity number right now. And we have processed it for over 8 months. We haven't received any feedback, and this has tied us, and we have not received any funds to support, but we are working remotely with my team to serve these people. But unfortunately, and what breaks me down is that I see my clients out in the cold, you know? People come out for support letters, but you see them outside your house, you know? It is very cold. You know, we are coming to summer, but people have been going to court, they need support letters, you know, they need services, but serving them in the cold outside there really, really breaks me down. And it is because that we are not yet registered as a charity, but we have pushed for that, and we have handed in our documents to prove our organization as a charity, but in their documents, they say that it takes like 90 days to prove us as a charity. But the 90 days they're giving us, people are facing trouble, you know? But I really, really want to push that so that we don't reach those 90 days and we can get office space. And there was a fund that was approved to us from the Black Canadian Fund. And because of the lack of the charity number, the funds were blocked, and the funds were for us to get offices. So I am working in my one room. I have a small printer there, my laptop, and I'm reaching out to over, like in the start, there were 300 people, and it is now an overwhelming number of people that I'm seeing on a particular day.
If people want to reach out to you now, and maybe even though you don't have a charity number, people can still, you know, support your work, how can they get in touch with you?
People can get in touch with us through our email, africancenterforrefugees@gmail.com. And also I have an e-transfer email that is gonna be shared by PK to the public for any support. Then the donations are highly, highly welcome. Thank you so much.
What are you hearing from people back home? What are you hearing from people in Uganda who are watching you and watching your work? And I mean, I can see that some of the comments popping up, and it's just wonderful. Tell me about the reactions and the feedback you're getting.
The people back home are very, very proud of me, of the work that I'm doing in Canada. And not only the people back home, but only the mentors that mentored me into activism work. They're seeing that their efforts were not for nothing. And they say thank you. They say thank you to me for the wonderful job that I'm doing. And also, it is not only the people back home that are seeing the tremendous work that I'm doing. My work is also recognized in Canada. Like it was recognized by the Community One Foundation, and I won the Steinet and Ferreiro Award. That award means a lot to me, and it was not only for Christopher as an individual, but also as a team at African Center. as the LGBTQ community in Uganda and in Canada, and the entire team at the African Center. And also, the work was recognized in British Columbia, where I won the Marie Lapouse Youth Leadership Award. I was the overall winner, and other people were just, I was on the top and people were under me, and that marked my best achievement of 2021.
It must be so wonderful to be recognized for this hard work, and you deserve all the awards. So I think it's wonderful to see these prestigious awards being honored with you, because you deserve it. Your story is so incredibly inspiring, and you've touched so many people, you've helped so many people, you've saved lives. Where do you find the strength and the courage to keep going, to overcome all that you have done, to fight the system, and ultimately change people's lives? Where do you find your courage and strength?
As for me as an individual, I think I'm a weird person, and there is a small word that really pushes me. The word thank you means a lot to me. That word, I really want to get a thank you every minute of my life. And the more I serve these people, the more I get the thank yous in my life. And not only the word thank you, but also the resilience. My resilience has also pushed me to do this, because I'm also in a country where at least I'm free to do my what my passion wishes me for. Yeah.
Amazing. It's been an honor to be able to interview you and hear your story and get to know you these past few weeks. I just think that you're incredible. So I'm really excited to hear the questions from all the amazing people who are watching us right now. So let's turn it over back to Nicole, who can help us get some questions up.
Yes, I'm inviting anyone who has questions at this time to unmute their mic. Please feel free to do that and direct questions to Christopher at this time.
I had a question for Christopher. Hi, thank you so much for being here. It was so great to hear your story again and just so inspiring. I guess it's a bit of a question, but also I was just wondering, you talk about your boyfriend, and I'm just assuming that you must miss him and your friends who are still in Uganda very much. And so I'm wondering, have you been able to maintain contact with them, and anyone that you previously knew from Uganda, have they been able to come over? And if not, what are some of the restrictions? Like what makes it difficult for some people from Uganda to come to Canada as you did?
Thank you so much for that question, Abby. Yes, it is true. I miss my boyfriend back home, and not only the boyfriend, but also my friends. But right now, I have to go through the IRB process of claiming for refugee, going to court, and my court has been scheduled for 11th May. I have to go to court and prove to them that, you know what, I'm a sexual minority who was facing persecution back home. And it is difficult for us to process this because before you go to court, you are not allowed to sponsor an individual, you know. But after you get your permanent residence here and you are granted permanent residence, that is when you file your PR with the different people you want to come. But I know it takes a long time to process that application. And I have to bear with the situation, but I always keep in touch with them, and we are in good terms. We talk every now and then, and yeah, we chat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Christopher. I have a question. I'm wondering if you could just talk a little bit about what you think would need to happen in the political landscape in Uganda to actually decriminalize homosexuality.
Pardon me, please.
Could you just talk a little bit about what you think needs to happen in Uganda to decriminalize homosexuality? Like, are you optimistic that maybe in 10, 20 years, that's something that could be achieved? What are kind of the roadblocks, obstacles in the way?
I think what needs to be done in Uganda is advocacy. we have done advocacy, but these colonial rules that were established in the 80s have already gotten stuck in the minds of these people that being gay or being a sexual minority is a sin, you know? So even if we are just pushing for advocacy to see that we create our visibility in Uganda, but it has refused to get in minds of the African people.
Thank you.
Just a film recommendation, Nicholas, if you're interested in learning more about the history of this, good film for this is God Loves Uganda. Also Call Me Kuchu, which are two films that were sort of made back to back that really documented this history really well. And it also talks a little bit about, you know, what are the reasons why, you know, decriminalization is a huge uphill battle. So.
Thank you.
I have a question, Christopher.
Yes.
Yes. So how do you make, when people come to Canada, how do you reach them? The initial point of contact. Have they heard about the African Center for Refugees? Do you have a contact that meets them at the airport? Can you talk a little bit about that process for newcomers?
Yes, thank you for that wonderful question, Nicole. In last year, in September 26th, we were able to have an orientation of peer educators, and we oriented 25 peer educators from the different countries from Africa. So we have a contact person in every groups of people. So when people come in here, they already know that we have established an organization that supports LGBTQ people. So on a daily basis, I get, by the way, I made my phone number a public phone. It rings from 7 to midnight, you know, it always rings. I always get several phone calls. People need support. So they have already known about our organization, and through these programs that we are holding, we always encourage people to tell other people about our organization. And we also tell them to reach out to us on our Facebook page, the Twitter handle, and our website, so they know that we exist. And also the promotional videos that we do have, we also post on our Facebook. And also the networks that we have built. We get referrals from other organizations referring people to us. Like recently, we got a referral of an individual from Community One Foundation who was thinking that Community One is an organization that supports immigrants. So by getting these people reaching out to us, this means that people know our existence out there and they're doing their referrals to us.
That must be very reassuring for you to be able to meet people at the airport. They see a face that they may not be, you know, recognize, but know that you're coming. How tremendously reassuring that must be for them. So,
yeah.
We have about a little over 5 minutes if anybody else has any other questions for either Christopher or Andrea.
Hi, Christopher. I apologize. I was a little bit late coming here. I am so sorry. I did have some questions though, just in terms, a question in terms of, so what is the most helpful from, if somebody wanted to help out, because I know that they're, I'm just in terms of like elements of bringing people in and assisting them and finding the services and getting those connections, because I know that in the past few years there have been cuts to things like legal aid in Ontario, which I know have created some really terrible barriers for refugees coming in and unaccompanied minors coming into to Ontario. And those are the things that I think of automatically, but is there something that, you know, I'm not thinking of that could just be as easy as like, can we help you on the phone? like what is the most what would be the most helpful element for people coming in who wanted to help, be from your perspective working in this field and having done all this work?
You know, as a newcomer, we are not well versed with the Canadian system of getting donations. But as an individual, what I know is that, you see, we were not getting funds because of the charity number, and those funds would assist us in running the organization. But we are fear of being charged of getting donations or grants without the license of the government. You know, at this particular time, I really don't know as a newcomer, because I told you that we had already put in our request for a charity number, and we are really only waiting for the charity number to see that we access grants to support other people. But I really don't know if there is any other way that we can get funds to support ourselves. I really don't know about that, to be honest.
Thank you.
And we really don't want to get into trouble with the government, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to add to that, that was I forgot about those cuts to legal aid, which had a huge impact on newcomers and refugees. So great question, and it's still a gap that has yet to be filled. And I think that in many ways it was just really forgotten about because the pandemic started. So thank you for that question. It's a huge problem.
Christopher, maybe I'll ask you another question, one final question. If there was anything else you would like us to be aware of, you've given us such wonderful insight into your experiences and the experiences of other people that you have worked with. Is there anything else that you would like to leave us with before the session ends?
Yes, first and foremost, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Ryerson University and the Institute of Change Leaders for giving me this opportunity to share my experience with a group of people, you know, and we really look out to working with you and for partnerships. If there are some organizations, if there are some people who are here and they are leading different organizations, please reach out to us for networks and partnership. You know, when you build partnerships with